Update. Am I the a-hole for passing out during a family gathering meant to introduce our new baby? Original post. So recently I, 27 female, had a beautiful baby girl with my husband, 29 male. She is my pride and joy. I love her more than I love myself. But taking care of her has taken its toll on me. My husband promised the work would be 50-50 when we agreed we wanted children. But I don't feel that's being reflected by his actions this past month. It's gotten to the point where I can't even ask him to wash her up without him saying something along the lines of, "My paternity leave is short. I want to make the most of it by relaxing a bit. I'll help you out later." And I get it. His paternity leave is only 6 weeks while mine is 16 weeks. But my nether regions hurt for a better part of 2 weeks after the birth, and all he could do for me was occasionally burp her. Now, my baby girl has got into a phase where she doesn't want to sleep. She'll sleep for an hour, but then she's up and back to crying, and I have to get up and try to soothe her. It's been happening for a week now, and I've gotten so little sleep that I'm nodding off while eating or doing the laundry and stuff. Saturday was the month anniversary of my daughter's birth, so I decided to gather both sides of the family to meet her. They hadn't met her prior because A, I wanted to rest as much as I could, and B, I heard somewhere that you shouldn't be taking babies out and about when they're fresh out the womb, because they're more prone to illness then. So we had this gathering at my mother's house and all is well. Everyone was cooing over our baby. There was food, people were catching up or meeting for the first time. It was nice. But I had gotten about 3 hours of sleep, generous estimate, in total the past week, and I was starting to feel the effects of it. I was feeling lightheaded and clammy, but I didn't want to make a scene, so I tried to go to a bedroom to lie down. I didn't take 10 steps before my vision completely blacked out. I wasn't down for long, but I had fallen over, which drew some attention. I explained to everyone who was concerned that I was fine and that I was just not getting enough sleep, and I could see my husband visibly frown at that. They gave me some of the dessert my aunt made to get my sugar up, and the party continued. I felt embarrassed about the whole thing, especially since everyone was still looking over me until we left. But it's whatever. What bothers me is my husband's reaction. When we got home, he started going off on me about how I made him look bad and like he wasn't taking care of me. I was confused on how the heck me passing out made him look bad, but he refused to explain himself and had a pity party for himself in the kitchen. I was still feeling bad, so I decided to leave him alone and just go to sleep. But he seems to have taken that as a sign that I don't care about his feelings. He's in my ear this morning about how I just ignored him to go to sleep last night and how I didn't even put the baby to sleep before leaving. Is he right? Am I the a-hole here? Now for the top comments before reading the update. Not the a-hole, and I can't call your husband the names I want to because my comment will be deleted. Paternity leave isn't a time to relax. It's a time you're helping raise the baby and spending time together as a family. Clearly, he is not doing either of these things as A, you'd be better rested, and B, he'd have noticed you're exhausted. Your passing out made him look bad because it was clear to everyone that you're being left to raising your baby alone. It's clearly not a partnership, and the a-hole you're married to is turning it into you to shift responsibility and blame. You need to seriously reconsider the relationship's future and brings this up with him, as it all comes down to him and his behavior. If he gets his act together, then things will be much better. But if he doesn't, you and your daughter deserve so much better. He doesn't know what paternity leave is and doesn't really want to take care of his family. Sadly, you can't seem to shake that loser. This deadbeat of a father and husband is using his 6 weeks to laze around, instead of using it to take care of his wife and child. OP, you said you love your baby more than yourself. Would you want to let her grow up and think that it's normal for wives to push themselves while they're sleepless and in pain until they faint? And husbands to berate them instead of worrying and taking care of them? Tell your parents that your husband doesn't help you at all and blamed you for making him look bad. You know what else makes him look bad? Being a deadbeat father and partner. The whole point of paternity leave is for him to help out, not relax. He makes you work extra hard in taking care of the baby. Then when you pass out, he sees himself as a victim who looks bad in front of his family? Your fainting is proof that he's not pulling his weight. If you trust his parents, show them this post and get their back up in giving him the wake-up call he deserves. His parents are genuinely nice people, so that may work. I'm starting to worry about my health at this point, and he's refusing to listen to me. Mini update. So I've tried talking with him, but he's been ignoring me and the baby the last 3 hours. I'd usually wait longer, but I'm just too tired to deal with this right now. You guys were right. I do need help with this. And he's made it very clear he's not ready to help me yet. So I'm just going to go to my mom's place. I'm currently packing. I'm so done. Now for the full update. Hi all, your comments were really helpful, so thank you. Yesterday, before I could Uber to my mom's house, my sister offered to help me, so I'm staying with her instead. She's taking personal time off to help me out with my girl, which I'm very grateful for. She also gave me sleep medicine that knocked me out for hours. I'm not sure if that was a good idea or not, but I slept long and well, so I don't care. I woke up a few hours ago to tons of messages from my husband. Like the little app icon had 99 plus on it. Here are some things he said, copy-pasted. You can't just up and freaking leave with my baby. Come back now, please. Let's talk about it. You're actually so freaking immature. What the heck is wrong with you? We have one argument and you freaking pretend like I've been beating you. Why the heck did you leave? We can work this out like adults, yet you're choosing to be difficult like a little bee. Please just come back. We will talk and sort this out and we can go back to being happy, so come back. I miss my baby girl. You can't just take her away. What if I call the police for kidnapping? Would that teach you what you're doing is wrong? I would screenshot, but it says this community doesn't allow attachments, so I can't. And I know it's a bit weird to tell y'all what he's been texting me, but I'm mad right now and this feels therapeutic, lol. I already sent the screenshots to his mom though. As for my baby, I have an appointment to a pediatrician for Wednesday, but for now, she's in formula since my breast milk quality isn't the best for understandable reasons. My sister said she wasn't as fuzzy as I described, so I really think the problem is with my milk. That or my sister wanted to make me feel better for sleeping. Who knows? I'll wait for the doctor's opinion. I'm not feeling 100%, but I feel a whole lot more better than before. Thank you to everyone who showed concern. I think this will be the last update since I want to not think too much about my husband right now. I am so glad you left and got some help and rest. You definitely need and deserve it. I still can't get over your husband's mental gymnastics here. He hasn't been a parent, hasn't helped you at all, and hasn't really spent any time caring for his daughter, and only cares about what other people besides you think. But misses his baby girl and wants you to come back so we can go back to being happy? Sounds like the only person who was happy was him. He got a 6-week vacation and didn't have to lift a finger. Let me guess, you were doing all the cooking and cleaning on top of caring for the baby? From what he is texting you, he thinks he did nothing wrong. He is being deliberately obtuse. To add insult to injury, he calls you a bee and threatens you with the cops. Lovely. He is a real peach. I really want to know what his mom has to say. Does she know he was mad at you for passing out? Because it isn't about love. It is about control and image. Please keep strong. You have done a fabulous job doing what you need to for you and baby. Best wishes. Damn, this dude is crazy. Hopefully next update it'll be ex-husband. What he said was too crazy, not even caring at all. Even though his wife had fainted, he kept swearing and talking about solving the problem. When you really go back, it will probably be another scolding and insulting. Your sister is helping you take care of your child now, so you can sleep peacefully and take care of your body first. That man is not worth it. When you decide you've had enough, take a screenshot of his text so you can show it to everyone who will be asking you whether or not to terminate things permanently. You are already a married single mother. Get free of your violent husband's deadweight. Next story. Am I the a-hole for ignoring my pregnant wife when she gave me the silent treatment over ice cream? Wife 32 female is pregnant and has her emotional and physical struggles. Add a scoop of annoyance and silliness too. Frankly, I'm too tired sometimes, and I need to know if I did anything wrong here. I 35 male, I'm a professional, and right now very busy. Wife has her fair share of mood swings and hormonal cravings, and we try to get by, most of the time, except when she expects me to read her mind. It's a constant point of our discussions initiated by her, because she feels I don't do stuff for her unless asked, which I disagree with. I bring her flowers, I will plan our dates, and I will give her a massage out of the blue when I'm feeling like I want to show my love for her. On the other hand, she expects me to have the clairvoyance to know she's craving a box of donuts when she calls me to work saying, I wish I had something sweet to eat, all the cookies are finished. Or I want to fix a chicken sandwich right now but there's no patties left. You see where I'm at? She feels that this is her way of communicating things with me, and if I really loved her and knew her, I'd understand. I disagree with her and tell her she needs to be direct with me if she wants me to bring home something for her. This is followed by her disappointed look and heavy sighs. Recently, something similar happened and she got angry at me as to why I didn't offer to drive her to get some ice cream for her after dinner. This time, I didn't sit and listen to her blame me and told her if she's going to act like a child, maybe she's not equipped to be a mom yet. This must have cut deep, but I am honestly exhausted by her behavior, and I really don't want to put so much unnecessary pressure on myself. I want a partner. Pretty sure babies can't communicate with adults, and it's up to me as a dad to understand if they're crying because they are hungry or sick or uncomfortable. I don't want my partner who expects the same as a baby. Maybe the reason I don't prioritize what she says she wants is because honestly during the workday I have a lot in my mind. So anyone just venting to me or a simple text isn't something I retain in my memory for long. So after what I said, my wife just been giving me the silent treatment. And I'm not going to grovel when I know I've done nothing wrong. I simply ignored it. And it has been 3 days now and I've gone on about my day like nothing happened. Clearly, the lack of attention and concern for our negligible communication has an effect on her, and she's been demanding an explanation from me if I even care about our relationship. I told her that I'm not bothered if she's upset right now over something that shouldn't even be an issue, and I don't care about her validation anymore. She teared up, looked at me with shock, and went back to our room. Did I go too far? Now for the top comments. I think you guys need to focus on your communication, not who's right or wrong. You have different communication styles and that's okay, but you need to find a way that works for both of you. Your wife thinks she's being clear and you think she's not. That makes both of you angry. You need to address that without blame when she's calm and relaxed. The ideal is if you listen to each other without judging. Yeah, this is a mess, and it's not going to get easier once a screaming newborn is added in. If these guys want their marriage to survive, they need to get better at communicating. I think you both need couples therapy and learn how to communicate with each other. I agree, you're not a mind reader. Some people, mostly women I hate to say, are taught to not ask/state/demand what they want. That it's seen as not ladylike and downright rude. There seems to be a misunderstanding between you two on communicating your wants and needs. She is telling him what she needs without making demands, and he calls it mind reading. I had no problem understanding her. What's more alarming here is the aura of superiority and disdain beaming from OP's attitude towards his wife. She's the emotional one, she's the one with the communication issues and unfair demands, while he paints himself as level-headed and doing things for her, like planning dates as if that's not a mutual task of mutual benefit. Everyone sucks here at best. Last story. Am I the a-hole for not informing my wife I surrendered my portion of inheritance left by my mom? Long story short, my mother has been battling dementia for around 12 years, and around 4 years ago, she needed more care than what myself and my siblings could reasonably provide. My parents were not exactly wealthy, but they did work hard their entire lives and they always had a goal to leave a legacy behind. My siblings wanted to split the cost of placement. At the time, I was not in the place to help fund her care without great sacrifice. So I told my siblings to take my portion of the estate to cover the cost, which includes the money my parents earmarked for each grandchild. I knew it was not going to be enough, but it was the least I could do. I did not tell my wife, because I did run a plan for my siblings by her. She also agreed we could not afford to take on the amount they wanted, which was around $3,000 a month. My mother passed away February of last year. Took this long to settle her estate, and my wife was upset when we did not get a portion of the estate. So I told my siblings to use my portion to cover my side of the expenses. She was livid. I did my best to explain that she agreed we could not afford to pay $3,000 a month, and we lived too far away to provide personal assistance, so I came up with a compromise. She felt it was not my place, since that money was also intended for our kid. I told her I see where she is coming from, but I was not going to take money away from my parents or siblings if I was not helping in some shape or form. Was I the a-hole here? Wait, your parents had money, but because it was planned for inheritance, you and your siblings were covering the cost of care instead of your mother, or whoever was managing her finances, just paying for it? Nah, the plan was for all of us to get together to pay for their care. I am the youngest and was not as established as my siblings. I could not afford to contribute. They could, but since I could not afford it, I gave up my portion of my inheritance. How much would your portion of the estate have been? How many months would you have had to pay $3,000? It was wrong of you to not tell your wife how this was going to go, but was a good compromise to do your part of your parents' care. No a-holes here. You wanted to do the right thing for your parents, but screwed up by not including your wife in the discussion. Your wife didn't appreciate it, feeling this was somehow done behind her back. We just would have split it evenly among us. It was sizable, around $200K, and she lived for around 4 years in her care facility. So largely a drop in the bucket. My $3K was also in the lower end because they knew I was not established. That is a fair take. My logic was I did tell my wife about the plan. She agreed we could not afford it. So what exactly would have changed if I told her I was giving up my inheritance? She already agreed we could not afford it. Until your mother died, it was her money, even if it was earmarked for your inheritance. Your mom apologizing for spending your inheritance makes her a good person. You saying you'd rather have her than her money makes you a good person. I see the apple does not fall far from the tree. Edit to clarify. I did not provide my whole life story since I did not think it was needed. I do agree I should have told her. I do not know why I did not tell her, and I am going to apologize for not telling her. As for why my siblings did not use her money, as far as I know, it was for tax reasons. Her assets were not liquid. I know the subject came up when it came time to pay for college because our mom got officially diagnosed when I was 14. She had early onset dementia. They were talking about selling some assets to cover my college costs. I told them it was not needed since I got a scholarship and worked to cover my living expenses. Our mother was cash poor. For as long as I can recall, my oldest sibling covered the majority of the household costs. I never really gave how much money my mother had much thought. I was also oblivious to the hell my siblings went through, shielding me from reality. That being said, the reason they did it the way they did was for tax reasons, and it was just easier that way. I do not know the details, and to be honest, I don't even care. I wish I could give them more because they gave me so much. I know it was painful for our mom to refer to them as strangers, but always lit up when she saw me. Yet she was at a lovely place she was because of them. I simply existed. End of the day, I do owe my wife an apology, and I will do so. As for the money, that is the least I could do for all they have done for me. I can never repay them for all they did for me.
First story is titled, Am I the a-hole for refusing to pay for my stepdaughter's wedding? I've been in my stepdaughter's life since she was 11. She was dealing with so much and was understandably mad at everyone, including me. She was dealing with chronic condition, her parents' separation, and leaving her family and friends after her mom moved to my hometown. My stepdaughter ended up with last-stage kidney failure. She was on dialysis for over 9 months. I stayed home with her, and I spent a lot of time with doctors trying to learn about different machines. She had many blood transfusions and was admitted to the hospital several times. Her mom wasn't there much because she had to work, so I was the one who stayed home and took care of her. It got too much for us. We decided that I'd be getting tests done to see if I could be a potential donor. And I was a match. I donated one of my kidneys in 2017, and thankfully, there were no problems after the surgery. Her recovery was complete a few months after because she had other issues. Her now fiancé proposed to her after she was discharged from the hospital, and they're getting married in February. She's 23 now, studies in an online college, and doing okay. Her mom and I don't share finances. My work nature is different, and I don't get money on a monthly salary. I own a truck that I used to make a living, but I'm capable of providing for the family. My stepdaughter stopped visiting. She used to call a lot, call me dad and check on me a lot, but I heard that she's spending time with her bio dad and visiting him and his new wife, which is not a bad thing. But one time when she visited, she and her mom asked if I could help pay for her wedding, and I agreed. But my stepdaughter seemed distanced and no longer had heart-to-heart conversations with me. She talked to her mom, and her mom would talk to me. Turned out, she accepted her bio dad back in her life and said that no matter what happened, he's her dad. I respected her decision. But last night, I argued with my wife after my stepdaughter told her to ask me not to come to her wedding because her bio dad will be there. I was confused. I asked why, and she said that her bio dad didn't want me there and she wanted him there. I felt awful. My wife told me to be more understanding, but I told her I won't be paying if I'm not allowed to come and should ask her real dad to pay. My wife acted shocked and said that this might ruin my relationship with her daughter, but her bio dad's opinion is more important, clearly. I refused to pay and told her I won't discuss it. My wife said my stepdaughter will be disappointed and I shouldn't punish her because of her bio dad, but I'm not. I couldn't take this treatment and be put last. From what I understand, her bio dad is actually contributing money to the wedding. My wife says that no matter what decision my stepdaughter makes, I needed to respect it. And that's what I'm doing. I'm not saying her bio dad shouldn't be there, but they need to understand that I won't be paying towards the wedding if I'm not welcome there. Her bio dad clearly doesn't want me there, and my stepdaughter is listening to him for some reason. He and I never been on good terms. He's always been neglectful, especially during his daughter's illness. But he claimed that I'm the neglectful one and my stepdaughter shouldn't be living with me. Now for the top comments. Not an a-hole. Wow, your stepdaughter is an ungrateful piece of work. You literally took the words out of my mouth. Not an a-hole. Your stepdaughter is destroying your relationship, not you. Point this out to your wife. Tell her she's free to make these decisions. But you've sacrificed enough to be in her life, and if she's this selfish, she's the one that will have to show she wants a relationship at this point. Opie has also sacrificed for her life. He has spent so much time caring and supporting her, even donating one of his kidneys. He had been there unconditionally. My wife said my stepdaughter will be disappointed and I shouldn't punish her because of her bio dad, but I'm not. Correct. Opie, you are not an a-hole. You should not give any money to the wedding when you are not being invited. Really sound like a good person. Sorry about all of this. Reddit here supports you. Not an a-hole at all. First off, I sympathize with you. You've given part of yourself both physically and mentally to her. You should absolutely be treated with more respect and human decency. Lastly, I agree with you completely. There's no way I'd pay or help pay for the wedding. I really don't see how your wife is in your corner on this. You're not good enough to attend, but your money's still fine? No way. You deserve better than that. I understand that part of her behavior is influenced by her bio dad. I'm not gonna lie, he is a bitter person and a grudge holder. He didn't want me there and is hiding behind her to get everyone to agree with her. I had a whole other answer until I reached the part about her asking you not to attend. Not an a-hole. I was a daddy's girl. My parents divorced when I was young and she remarried. I gave my poor stepfather hell for a few years because I was so close to my dad and felt like I was betraying him. As I grew up, my stepdad never gave up. He allowed me the time to grow and realize it was possible to love two father figures. When it came time for me to marry, I knew I wanted both my dads to escort me down the aisle. My dad was less than thrilled, but because he loved me more than he disliked my stepdad, he did it. Never did it cross my mind to exclude my stepfather. I'm so sorry your stepdaughter doesn't feel the same. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for not wanting my stepdad to be father of the bride at my wedding? I'm 27 female. I'm getting married in May 2022. This has come up a few times and I'm starting to feel a little bad, so I wanted to see if others think I'm the a-hole or not. My dad died when I was 10. My mom met my stepdad when I was 12 and married him when I was 13. Full disclosure, I didn't exactly want her to get married, but I understood and respected and supported her right to be happy again. It was hard for me, and while I was always polite and civil to him, I never wanted to bond or develop a deeper relationship with him. For me, I felt that as long as I treat him with respect, that was all I needed to do. It upset them both a lot, but they accepted it because nobody could deny I was civil. It has only become a problem now that I'm getting married and didn't give him the father of the bride role at my wedding. They first asked about it when I mentioned needing them to pick a song to walk to their seats to at the ceremony. My stepdad asked what about me. I told him I would be walking with my fiancé. He said he was expecting to do it, and I told him it was okay. Then they asked about the father/daughter dance, and I told them there was only going to be the first dance between me and my husband, but we could dance after. I then asked if they wanted to do a joint speech, separate speeches or something else. He said he wanted to be a more traditional father of the bride. I told him I understood he wanted that, but that wasn't going to be a role at my wedding. He asked why. I said my fiancé and I decided not to do it. Afterward, my mom told me that I might not love him or consider him a part of my family, but he is still a person with feelings and I should let him do this stuff for him. She told me it was never too late to embrace having another father in my life. I told her I did not want another father in my life, that I was happy with my life, but if it would make him happy, we could work out a dance at the wedding. She said it sounded like I didn't want it, and I said I was willing to do it to spare feelings, but I had already chosen not to do a specific spotlight dance with him. She told me they would be willing to pay for the wedding if that was the issue, and I said money wasn't the issue and we were fine paying for it. Apparently, my lack of enthusiasm means they rejected it, and yet they're still asking for him to have the role. I don't want him to have it. This isn't anything against him. It's a me thing. It was always a me thing, and I'm fine with that. I worked in therapy on this for several years to realize my boundaries and feelings are okay, and I have a healthy understanding of how I feel / where my mind is at. And now I'm wondering if I'm an a-hole or not. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. You set your boundaries and they need to respect them. Stay firm. Indeed, and a fair reminder to them both that this is her day, not theirs. They need to remember that. Not the a-hole. It's your wedding, so you do as you please. It's nice that your stepdad would offer to do such things, but you set the limit and were even willing to compromise during the wedding reception. Your mother needs to remember and recognize that it's your day and should not press the issue any further. Exactly that. Unless, of course, her stepfather gave her a kidney, then she'd be an absolutely awful person. Not the a-hole except your mom. From your story, it seems like your stepdad asked fairly politely and didn't flip out at you when you said no and respected your wishes. You're allowed to say no, and your stepdad is allowed to be temporarily sad. Your mom became the a-hole when she tried to emotionally manipulate you into feeling guilty about not loving your stepdad, when it has nothing to do with it at all. The next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for telling off my friends for missing their engagement photo shoot over their roommate? So, I do photography as a side hobby for extra cash. Portrait shots, engagement sessions, weddings, etc. It's fun and I like what I do. 2 of my good friends got engaged last year and were wanting to do an engagement session, and I suggested when it snows, we should take advantage of that. They loved the idea, and I even went shopping with the soon-to-be bride to pick out an outfit to go well with the snowy background. We finally find out it was going to snow last night and this morning several days ago. Bride is my neighbor. Groom is not. Groom lives 15 minutes on really bad back roads that eyes over and are definitely not safe to drive in after snow. So I suggested he spend the night before. I don't want anyone getting hurt over photos. Groom and bride have slept together plenty of times, in both meanings of the word sleeping, so this isn't a problem of morality. Groom's roommate, though, is obsessed with their sex lives and purity. One time, he tore their living room apart in anger, all because the groom spent the night at bride's apartment. Groom has to sneak bride in after his roommate goes to bed, and out at 5 a.m. before he wakes up to prevent angering him. His roommate has all kinds of issues concerning his faith, and he pushes his issues onto the groom and will make life hell if groom doesn't follow roommate's morality code. I'm a Christian myself, but this guy's a lunatic. Over the past 6 months, our other friends and my boyfriend have suggested moving out or even crashing with them because everyone thinks groom's roommate is crazy and creepily controlling. But groom feels obligated to stay since roommate has no other real friends. Anyway, so groom was going to spend the night with bride. That was already discussed so that we can walk to each other in the snow and no one has to drive. I had everything set up and ready to go. I get a text this morning saying groom did not spend the night because he feared angering his roommate, and so we can't do the engagement photos because, as I predicted, the roads are iced over. I'm mad and basically told them off that they need to stop letting roommate control their lives, and that it's unhealthy as hell, and it isn't fair to me to go through lengths to plan a photo shoot and prepare equipment all to cancel 2 hours before by saying groom didn't spend the night as planned. I told them they better suggest something else because there's no way we'll ever do a snow shoot for them if they keep living in fear of roommate. They're upset and think I'm harsh. I think they need to get out of this toxic roommate situation and should have told me in advance that groom was never planning to stay the night because I knew if he didn't, I'd have known not to prepare since I know how bad the roads get. Am I the a-hole? Now for the comments. Prepare yourself for a blizzard of not a-hole. The groom legitimately needs an intervention to get him out of that arrangement and away from that roommate. You are all being way too polite about this. It goes beyond controlling. It's frankly scary. There is no reason under the sun, or storm clouds, that you should not have received a text in the evening saying the groom will not be staying at your neighbor's, and to prepare yourself for snow cancellation in the morning. Edit. I scratched out my first sentence because, to my great surprise, this is going to be more contentious than I imagined. To me, you are clearly not the a-hole. It would have been common courtesy for them to give you a heads up that plans had changed. If the boyfriend wasn't in touch with you, certainly the bride, your next door neighbor, could have been. This whole thing is weird and gives credence to the often used cliche of no good deed. Yeah, if they even told me last night, I wouldn't be as upset. But like the morning off? They both knew he wouldn't be spending the night by last night, so they could have said something. My guess is maybe he thought he'd tried to drive. Not the a-hole, and I would not do the shoots for them anymore. Did you set a price or was it for free? Such a late cancellation means they still need to pay up a portion of the price because you have spent time preparing and could not get another booking. I was going to do it for free as a gift to them. No charge. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister she was dating my bio father? So, my life turned into a bloody soap opera recently and I could use some outside opinions here. I, 24 female, am the product of my mom having an affair. Fortunately, my dad decided to forgive my mom and keep me, and I had a pretty good upbringing. But I don't really look a lot like the rest of my family. I'm the only redhead, among other things. And I did ask questions of a, why am I the only one with, insert trait here, nature growing up. When I was 17, my mom took me out for ice cream and introduced me to my bio father. She said that she felt I was old enough to know the truth and explained about her affair, while also, A, making me promise I wouldn't tell my older sister, 27 female in the present, and B, hammering home along with my bio father that he'd never be part of my life and didn't want me. It was a lot, I won't lie, but I learned to suck it up and move on with my life. Fast forward to the present. My big sister has always gravitated towards older men. We like to joke that it's the result of too many George Clooney movies growing up, and 2 months ago, shared a picture of herself and her new boyfriend, who, to my shock, turned out to be my bio father. I debated what to do for a couple of days, then ultimately decided she needed the truth and told her. My sister did not take it well and dumped him, but she wasn't angry with me. Honestly, by now, she's kinda amused. Says that since she banged my dad, she's my mom and has extra power to boss me around now. My mom, on the other hand, is furious. She says I divulged something that wasn't my secret to share, and that I had no business telling anyone. That since bio father isn't related to my sister, it didn't matter if he dated my sister, and it wasn't like they were talking marriage anyway. It's been 2 months and she's still angry, still snide, calls me a traitor and finds excuses to make loud comments about how I can't be trusted with anything private or important, so beware. At the time, I thought I was doing the right thing, but I've never seen my mom this angry before, and she sustained that anger for 2 solid months. So I'm starting to worry. Did I actually do something really horrible? Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. She needed to know that. That's weird and a little too close to home. Also, it's kind of messed up that your older sister was never told about this key part of her family history. Also, if your bio father knew who she was and her relationship to you, that's really weird and creepy. Thank you. I don't know if he knew. On the one hand, my sister doesn't exactly have a lot of family photos in her apartment. On the other hand, social media's a thing, and my sister's not trying to hide her family, so shrugs. Not the a-hole. Your mom is taking her feelings about herself out on you. Calls me traitor. She's the one who cheated on her family. I can't be trusted with anything private or important. Says the woman who couldn't be trusted to stay faithful to her marriage. It's weird and messed up that your mother wasn't the least bit icked out that her daughter's father was hooking up with her other daughter. Her feelings must be Category 4 hurricane right now. Not the a-hole. It's about your life. You can tell anyone you want. I don't know about that. That's a bit much. I wouldn't have told my sister if she wasn't dating him. Of course, you can tell anyone that you want. You're an adult. Your mother is ashamed of having to bear any consequences, but that is part of life. Her anger is her problem. That just seems like stirring up things for the sake of stirring up things. I'm very lucky. My parents raised me the same as they did my sister. So for me, there's not much about my life different than if I wasn't an affair baby, outside of a different hair color and apparently needing to worry about my sister dating my father.
And that's the end of this video, folks. As always, leave a comment and hit like and subscribe. And if you want more of this content, turn your notification on to get updated on the latest videos. And I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe.